It's Wednesday. We are wizards, and it is time for our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday.
Hello.
Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is Elf
And Dota.
and
Loch Ness.
I see Tad Major is up on the stage. Hey, Tad.
Hey, Tad.
Hey, coming to you straight from the Technichrome. Welcome.
Awesome.
Today we're going to settle once and for all who has the more silky smooth voice, Elf or Dota.
How is it even a debate? That's what I don't understand.
I know. I was sure it was you, but then I had a pretty good showing on the poll. So
I was a little shocked, I gotta say. I guess I'll just have to try to be extra silky
No,
smooth.
You ended up winning. Here,
I ended up winning.
you.
Okay, great.
You won. Yeah, fair and square.
You were leading for a while.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a really interesting, amazing show today. There's Bear Snake. And hey, Bear, what's up?
Oh, he's connecting.
Okay.
Just keep going.
We obviously we have a very special guest, Kristian Nairn. We will intro him in the second half of the show today. But first, we just want to get some updates and house cleaning out of the way. So we want to just talk about the Warrior Honoraries. We want to talk about the Beasts, which is launching in 6 days. But first, real quick, I just wanted to quickly say we've got some really awesome merch in the works, some new shirt designs, jackets, hoodies. Bear and Loch Ness have been really working on this a lot, and they're just looking great. So, Bear or Loch Ness, do you want to say anything about those?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this round of merch. This will obviously be a la carte merch. It won't be like the merch we did last time in terms of like this special box. Although, of course, we make everything special. So keep that in mind.
Special, but no box. But yeah, it's you'll be able to order them one at a time, and they'll be evergreen. Yeah. And I think that's all we have to say about the merch. Oh, Bear's getting kicked off, and now he's coming back. Yeah, and then so let's talk about the beasts. So yeah, Dota. There's a lot of like technicalities and mechanics involved. We've got first the gate for the beast needs to be opened. How do we open the gate, Dota?
Ooh, so opening the gate is going to require group participation. So, without revealing too many of the secrets, if you have a wizard with a key, you'll probably be happy. So, but a key alone is not necessarily going to be all it takes to open the gate to the seventh realm. So, I would say that you want to be thinking about someone that you might be trusting as a partner to open the gate. But once the gate is open, then the beasts will be released. So we talked about this before. Season 1 is going to have 7 beasts. We are for sure going to do more seasons, probably after Warriors. But season 1 will have 7 auctions. They're going to be it'll be an auction that runs for about 24 hours, and at the end of that auction, then there is going to be beast spawn.
So, yep, and yeah, so this auction may be seen as sort of a whales game, but that does not mean that the rest of the community cannot participate. So, whenever a beast is done auctioning, it will release spawn, and I think each beast release about 250 spawn. Is that right?
So each beast will release about 40 spawn.
250 total, right?
Or roughly? Yeah. They'll roughly be between 250 and 300 spawn total,
right? Yep.
Within this first season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for every beast, after the auction is done, there'll be effectively an airdrop of 42 different spawn. Now, who gets those spawn and how do we do it fairly? So what happens is you can check in, and those 42 spawn go to the holder of 42 different random wizards, right? So there's 10,000 wizards. 42 of those people will randomly receive this spawn. But there's a twist, which is it doesn't get airdropped to your wallet automatically. You actually have to claim it. And then the natural question is, well, what if someone earns the spawn and then they don't claim it? The spawn claiming list rotates every day, every 24 hours. So that means if you didn't happen to win the spawn one day, if there's some spawn that is not left, that is unclaimed, then you can come back and check the next day. And we'll just repeat that process with a new set of wizards every day until the last beautiful, cute little spawn has been claimed.
Yep. So you got to be vigilant. You got to pay attention. This is not a passive event. You want to be very engaged with when the gate to the seventh realm opens.
But it should be really fun. The beasts and the beast spawn are really incredible, and they're like, one of the reasons is one of the questions we've talked about is like, oh, maybe there should be like thousands and thousands and thousands of spawn, but I think we want to be able to tell stories about these creatures, and well, maybe you could talk a little about like the utility in story for these, Elf.
Yeah, so as with all of our characters, the utility is always evolving and being added to, but and the beasts will have their own like mechanics and utility, but to me the most important thing is actually of course the lore and the world building potential of these beasts. These beasts are highly unique, they're highly rare, they're highly legendary. They are one of ones, handcrafted with no generator involved. And even the spawn, they're also handcrafted. There's no generator with them. However, they do have a very subtle rarity hierarchy. So, but regardless of the legend stats of these creatures, or regardless, the legend stats of these creatures is off the charts. It's it's immeasurable. It's timeless. You think about stories of beasts all throughout history, all throughout literature. Entire quests are often centered around legendary beasts, whether heroes are trying to find them, slay them, befriend them. Beasts often guard priceless treasures. They devastate entire cities. They pulverize the mightiest warriors, or they perplex the most cunning wizards. They can be friend or foe, good or evil, but most often they defy categorization, because they are their own unique, unpredictable thing. So beast mythology it's global, it's pan-cultural, and yet it lives deep within the human psyche, epitomizing our hopes and fears and dreams. And so, as you can see, each beast has profound lore and world building potential. So, the Forgotten Runes beasts and their spawn, what's going to be, I think, really fun is each of them will come with pre-written lore. But don't worry, this pre-lore will be minimal. It'll be fairly generalized, and if you own one of these creatures, you will still be allowed to add on to their story. So if you're the caretaker of one of these extraordinary creatures, as their lore master, you will be in this really unique position to level up these beings that are already legends in their own right. So these are very different from all of our other character drops. They just add a lot more variety and richness to the world that we're building.
People are also asking for the unlocking ceremony if souls are supported, and the answer is yes. If you have a soul with a key, the souls are the souls of wizards, and so they count just as well.
Yep. And I don't know if we're supposed to say this, but if you help open the gate, then you will also get a mystery surprised NFT if you participate in that. So yeah, the beast again. They launch in 6 days. the gate will open. I mean, I hope it opens. You know, one funny thing we talk about is like, what if nobody ever opens the gate? What if it takes like days to get it open? But then we also
I think
think,
it'll open. Yeah.
We have a little running bet about how long it's going to take for the gate.
Yeah, I think it'll only take like 20 minutes.
I hope so. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Anything else on beasts? Dota, Bear?
Nope, I'm good on beasts. I'm
Okay.
very, very excited to release them.
Sweet. And then let's talk about the Warriors honoraries real quick. So we have the little nomination contest going. It looks like we've got our list of finalists. I thought that list was great. I think every person on that list deserves to be there. I'll also say there's like a lot of people who I was sad that were not on the list, but you know, that's just, you know, that's the way it is. There's so many great wizards in the cult, and you know, maybe next time. But you know, I think the list was great. But then, yeah. So then after we get the finalists, I want to talk a little bit about the warrior customs that we'll be making. So we're going to release a little guide on what to expect when you receive a warrior honorary.
Maybe I could talk a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
go
I
for
could
it.
talk a little bit about like the contest too. I think
Sure.
so I think there's two phases. The first phase, well, what this basically is born out of is this idea that like there are basically different roles for doing honoraries, right? Back in the early days, the original kind of reason that we did honoraries in the first version of the Forgotten Woods Wizards cult was basically to get our name on the map, right? It's a bit of a hack at that stage, which is like, you create an honorary for D's, for example. And then, D's probably like the project anyway, but it certainly helped get us kind of on his radar. And that's like helped the project quite immensely. And so I think all of the honoraries that we sort of did, well, maybe not all, but a good portion of the honoraries we did in the beginning, it was something like, reaching out to people that we like respected their tweets and opinions and then we get them to kind of like augment the project. And then we also did kind of honoraries in the beginning, which was just like whoever was here, right? Like Nikita was here and he got this like gold skelly, which he like still has to his profile pic. Gremplin was here. And he kind of had the idea for the Fernum. And it was literally just like, if you were in the Discord and you were chatting with us, we're just like, who wants an honorary? And then
Yep.
like 3 or 4 people were like, ooh, I would love it. Here's my idea. And like, we just made it, right? And so, part of what we want to do is as we grow, one, there's problems with giving it to honoraries, right? Like maybe the person that you targeted to give an honorary does something that you don't really like. Okay, for example, I don't think I've ever said this publicly. When Alpha and I were trying when we were drafting up a list of influencers for the original like project back in like May or June of last year, I told him I was like, I had a white whale in my mind, and it was this person that was like the ultimate influencer. I was like, my number one goal is to get this person to accept an honorary from us. And I was like, every single person that I targeted was like trying to get this person to take an honorary from us. And you know who that person was? It was Beanie.
Yeah.
That was my like
boy.
number
Oh,
one
boy.
dream influencer for an honorary for the Warriors collection. And so
Yeah.
lessons learned, I suppose, of like, you can pick someone for an honorary and then sort of turns out a little bit later on that like you regret that choice. We don't want to, and then we had the whole conversation about like, other, celebs for doing honoraries, whatever, neither here nor there. The contest was basically born out of like, how do we keep that like small town feel of like, hey, everybody who's here who wants an honorary, how can we make that fair? And so then it's hard because you have 10 people who get voted in and then not everyone gets voted in. And there's a lot of good people who should get honoraries who like didn't make the popularity contest. But I think that's where we're coming from, is like trying to let it be a community decision on like something that supports the people that are here.
Yeah.
So the first contest, actually, I feel that the results are pretty fair. I know that there's some questions around like, can you submit twice? Do people cheat? Were all the people on this list that shouldn't have been? We can probably even publish the data from the first survey, and it feels like totally like the nominations originally. And then we did a voting that was like maybe not as scientific as it could be, and so then we're doing another round with that's like a lot more like lockdown. So I feel really good about like kind of the fairness of the results that are coming through. So I just want to like I don't know address that before we get further.
Yeah, I'll just add on. One of my favorite things about the honoraries is it speaks to the collaborative legendarium. A lot of really fun ideas came out of the requests. Grimplin's Fernome comes to
I love
mind.
it.
The
Yeah,
Fernomes are some of my favorite characters, and
yeah.
that's a vital part of the universe now. So anyway, so yeah, but yeah, I wanted to talk just briefly about what to expect, and again, we're going to release a guide, but the most important thing is like don't look at this as a way to gain a priceless NFT that's going to make you tons of money. That is not what this is about. This is about aesthetics. This is about lore. This is about story. This is about world building. And so, you've got to, first of all, you've got to stay within the confines of like the Runiverse. Don't suggest something that's just totally out of this world. Although that said, the Runiverse is vast and eclectic. So, we might be surprised at the ways we can make things fit. Um, Also, it's got to like, be doable in pixel art. It's got to fit the form factor. And it should be warrior like. But what that concept is flexible, so we're not super rigid on that. But then yeah, and then as far as like the warrior is going to be made up of head, a body, a weapon, an animal companion, a rune, and a shield. Those are all the parts that make up the warriors. So you can play within those traits. Um, but like here's the thing that could happen. Like let's say you tell me you want like an eagle warrior, and so I draw an eagle head, and maybe someone else tells me unknowingly that they want a hawk warrior. I'll probably use the same head for both of those, okay? And so then if two people get back like their eagle hawk warrior, don't be upset that like, oh wait, mine's not super rare or unique. These things are going to happen. Again, it's not about rarity, it's about you getting your own.
Storytelling.
Yes, you
Yeah.
getting your own warrior that then you get to turn into a legend. The one thing that will be totally unique though is you'll get to name it, and obviously the name that you give your warrior will not be duplicated anywhere else. So
Yeah,
anyway,
and if folks have, and for the people who aren't the 10 people who made that list, I think if you have ideas of things you want to see in Warriors, please, yeah, uh, mention them in the Secret Tower.
yep, yep, yep. Cool. I guess that's all there is on that. Before we introduce our special guest, is there anything else? Are there any updates from the Bearcave?
I don't speak unless the music is played.
Okay. Hold on. And you know what? I've got a special intro that
Oh, it's
is
even
fitting
better.
with our DJ theme today. Okay, it's time for our weekly update from the Bearcave on the beach.
Oh man.
Oh my lord. Well, hi everyone. So yeah, I'll keep it short this week. Two things I wanted to talk about. One is we've we're like in full tilt on planning the party in New York for NFT NYC. I definitely recommend if you were on the fence about coming or not. In my biased opinion, I think you should definitely make the trip. We're definitely going to blow it out. We have some really great acts that we're talking to in terms of performances, but more importantly, we'll be launching our comic book there, and I think the goal here is to like recreate the ethos of what this project is about creativity, and surprise and delight and all the things that make this project and everybody in it so special. So that's really exciting. We really want to like try to reflect in a physical space what the Runiverse is. So that'll be fun. And secondly, I don't even know if I should like bring it up, but I'm going to because I'm like bursting with excitement. But it looks like we
Yeah.
found our showrunner writer for the television show.
Oh
And
yeah.
let me just say, I don't like cussing, but holy shit.
Yeah.
This guy is quite an impressive person, and we're lucky to have him. I think any project, any huge director who, can get anything made would be lucky to have him come aboard and help craft what the world looks like. And so I'm just super excited. But of course, we have to go through and do some paperwork and stuff. But we're planning on announcing that in the next, I'd say, month or so. So I think you guys would be really happy. And I think what's really special, and Alpha Dota got to talk to him, was that yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool is when someone who is completely removed from our ecosystem speaks the same language as us. And so he was just going into all these things about how he thinks about writing scripts, how he thinks about characters, how he thinks about the hero's journey. And what's cool is that he also speaks in references to other movies, whether they're 100-year-old movies or they came out last month. And so that was kind of neat. But Elf Doty, you seem to sort of be excited and feel like he's the right guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too excited to talk about it because it's we can't quite announce it, and I think one of the way I walk away from that meeting being people don't realize that we're actually going to make a show. I think that was what I walked away from that meeting, being oh, every project says they're going to do a TV show and it ends up looking like a $300 web comic on YouTube or something, and it's no, you don't understand. We're making a show with people that you've heard of before, and so it's so exciting, and it's going to take some time, but I just was on cloud nine after that call yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know, Barry, you were going to mention this today, but I'll just throw my 2 cents in. This guy is an unbelievable talent. He's already got several films and TV shows out there that are good. And, it's not only that, but it's we talked about his creative process in our meeting yesterday, and he's perfect. He approaches creativity in a lot of the way I do. I feel like I'm really going to be able to communicate with this guy very easily. We're on the same wavelength. We think about creativity in the same way. He's going to be able to write these scripts a million times better than I can. And he's perfect. He's just perfect.
He's perfect. He also hasn't signed yet, so I think we're jumping the gun a little. But it's
Yeah,
so
sorry
exciting.
guys, I probably wasn't supposed to say anything, but now we're forced to do it. So I think, I don't know if you guys are ready, but I know that we've been keeping our special guest waiting a bit. Maybe we jump in.
Yeah,
let's invite him
No,
up.
let's do it. Okay. So speaking of perfect people to join our project, to join the cult. Hold on. Let me make sure he's as invited as a speaker. Okay, there we go. Did I do it?
I don't know. So Kristian,
go ahead.
Kristian, I
Kristian,
know
if
you're here.
listening
I'm trying to invite you.
There's a little button where you have to accept the request to speak.
This is the clumsiest intro.
Hello.
Okay. Hold on, Kristian. Okay, hey. Okay, so we have a very special guest today, a new cult member to initiate. You may know him as the pirate Wee John Feeney in our show Our Flag Means Death. You may know him from Game of Thrones, the most beloved character in the show, Hodor. I am very excited to welcome to the cult a man who has left his mark on the world by holding the door. Witches and wizards, here to put his rune on the door, Kristian Nairn.
Hello.
Hello there. What an intro. Thank you. Hey, guys.
I've been listening to your DJ sets all day.
I'm so sorry. So, no, thank you. Did you enjoy them?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love progressive trance, and I was watching the video of you just doing all this stuff. I don't know what any of those buttons are on the turntables and all that, but it just looks like so much fun.
That makes two of us, actually. It's you know, it's like it's like face roll, just see what happens.
Right, right.
I think I've been lucky for 10 years or 20 years now. I just seem to be able to press the right buttons.
So Christian, that actually leads me to the first question. Were you a DJ before you started acting, or like what came
Yes,
first?
I mean my career started in music. I studied acting and music in college, and music was always my first love. Ever since I was a kid, and I pushed that forward first, and um, yeah, it's just I've never really followed a career path. I'm not that type of
Hmm.
person. I'm a bit too haphazard and chaotic for that. So I've just been tumbling down a rabbit hole my entire life, and
Right.
I've been very lucky. I feel like I've been very lucky, and yeah, I started off being a DJ. It somehow led into being an actor. Um, Strangely,
How did
Right.
that how did that happen? So you're like DJing, and are you like, because you like tour all over the world, and I know you have like Rave
yeah.
of Thrones and all sorts of stuff that way predates any acting stuff. But like, how did that transition happen?
Oh wow. I mean, well, there was actually another career before I was a DJ. I actually was a drag artist, believe it or not. Um,
All
so
right.
yeah,
Yes.
so that was the theatrical side of it. I had an agent through that, and he always, well, he occasionally put me forward for roles and things. I wasn't really that interested, honestly. Like I nearly didn't go to the Game of Thrones audition. This is one of the stories I tell at conventions. It's like I was literally on the way to meet my friends for lunch, and he said, "I've got an audition for you. I need to be there in 15 minutes." And I was like, "I'm kind of hungry, and I kind of want to meet my friends for lunch." And I like, how close was I to like missing the opportunity of a lifetime? And it really was in the
Right.
balance, really in the balance. And it just goes to show that you always should kind of say yes to opportunities like that, because I was so damn close to saying no. And since that day, actually, I really don't say no to very much, um,
Right.
unless it's terrible.
You said yes to us.
Yeah, but how could I not?
Also,
No.
How
we should just really quickly on that note, because
can I?
you were just such a gentleman and awesome person from like the first second we spoke,
Oh,
and you really were
Yeah.
open to like jumping in and understanding what we're doing. And I just want to give credit, like Two Crows, who's probably on here, who's a friend, and
mhm.
just an amazing guy. He actually made the introduction to Christian, and so shout out to Two Crows for that. I really appreciate
Shout
it.
out to Two Crows. Yeah.
Yep.
No, well, I mean,
Yep.
it's not. I mean, I'm not the most technologically savvy person in the world, but everything else is very much in my personal area and my personal wheelhouse. I've always been a fantasy geek. It just speaks to me volumes. So it felt very natural in that way.
Yeah, we felt the same way. We had heard that you were into the fantasy genre. We heard that you're into video games,
Oh yeah,
and you just seemed like a perfect fit for us. I mean, I've even been telling Nicole, out of the entire Game of Thrones cast, you would have been my first pick if
well,
I was
thank you.
allowed to pick anyone. And
I
we're just
appreciate
so
that.
thrilled that you walked. Yeah, that you walked through the door for us, and you're also a big fan of animation,
Yeah,
which yeah, you're doing the narration for our upcoming animated trailer.
that's right. Which is awesome. I mean, it blew me away. I don't know if the guys haven't seen it yet, have they? The rest of the cult.
No,
We
not
Oh,
have not
yet.
released
No.
it. No.
you're gonna love it. It's so good. I mean, I got so excited and got goosebumps when I saw it. You know, you're gonna love it. That's what really sold me. I was just like, this is so cool. Uh, you're yeah. I don't even know what to say. You've got a lot to look forward to, guys. It's so cool.
Well, I'm going to ask you to share the little anecdote from our record sessions. So the last line in the trailer is they are putting their rune on the door. And when I
Yeah.
asked you to read that, what did you say?
Am I ever gonna escape doors? Honestly, it's like everything I do has a door in it, man. Honestly, I mean, I know doors, even as a normal human being, doors are hard to escape on an everyday basis. But it just seems to be
Yeah.
when I've got a microphone in front of me or a camera on me, there's a frigging door somewhere in sight that I have to interact with.
Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah, I can't complain. Like, the doors have been good to me.
yeah, exactly. And then, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we're really trying to take this show to the next level.
Yeah,
If I'm hoping that we're going to get you to do a voice in the show as one of the characters.
love it.
Um, yeah, and then I actually, if you don't mind, I wanted to ask you.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've met George R. R. Martin, right?
Many times.
Right. Yeah, his work obviously is such an influence on this project. He's obviously just a master world builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, like how do you have any fun anecdotes or anything about George that you can share?
I mean, George himself is a fun anecdote. He's a really great guy. I always get on very well with him. I don't know if it's a beard thing, but we'd always a grey beard attraction, but we'd always gravitate um, to each other. I think when we go to events like premieres and stuff, I don't think that's really George's natural habitat, and it's never really been mine. And I
Hmm.
think we could sort of see that in each other because it would be this is a bit weird, and
Right.
we would sort of connect in that way. And he just reminded me of. I love it when you can see someone's intelligence when you're talking to them, and when you talk to him, you can see this sparkle in his eyes, and he just loves what he does. And I really admire people's passion when they wear it on their sleeve, when they can see their passion in their eyes. And he just reminds me of like a little evil Ewok. He's just he has this malevolent intelligence, and he's very funny.
Right.
He's very funny. He's a great guy. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. No. He.
anecdote wise, I mean, I've been on stage with him many times and had to confess that I haven't read the books. Um, and yeah, it was
Who's.
tragic.
Who's got the time? No one's got the time for those books.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't even have the time to finish them, so I mean, I can't really
Right.
comment. That's a very controversial book.
I
Let's not open that box.
I've not read the books either, but I think I've seen the entire series at least 3 times.
I'm on two. I did the pandemic.
Okay.
I did the initial watch, and then I did the pandemic watch. I'm going to watch
Right.
it again. I get too emotional because I see it on a different level. I see my friends, and I'm sort of looking at their performances and remembering
Right.
them leaving the show and remembering what a shitty day this was and how cold it was and how muddy, and also
Yeah.
just how amazing it all turned out. And it gets me very emotional. I'm always like, my mom comes into the room and said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Oh, it's nothing, nothing." It's just very emotional for me to watch it.
Oh,
I
I
think
can
that's pretty
imagine.
much
I
the
mean,
same
that
for
was
everybody.
it was so many years of your life that you're devoted
Yeah,
to that. I can totally imagine.
yeah, and it was rough.
Um,
It was. I mean, of all the jobs, I mean, it was my first big acting job. I've done plenty since, and I haven't even close to have done anything so intense, emotionally intense.
right.
It was a ball breaker.
Right. Yeah. You're probably not allowed to say. I think there's like a Game of Thrones spin-off coming out. Are you going to make an appearance in that?
Not unless there's like a Back to the Future style DeLorean. And I mean, I don't know how Hodor is going to do time travel. Um,
Okay.
no, I don't know.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can very
It
safely
takes
say
place
no there.
like thousands of years previous to the previous story, right? Or
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think. I mean, there's sort of creating a different character mythos. But I'm a pretty unique looking guy, and I think if I appeared in the what do you call them? The Targaryen throne room. I think they would.
right.
That's Hodor. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
not a Targaryen. That's Hodor. What's he doing there? What's he doing? What's he doing riding the dragon?
Right. Awesome. Cool. And then I've heard that you're into gaming, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love all computer games. I have. I mean, I feel bad if I don't have all the systems, and I never play any of them. And that's the thing. I always give them to my friends because I only play Warcraft. At the end of the day, I only play Warcraft, and I
Right.
admire lots of other games. There's only two games that have ever sucked me in completely, and one was Jet Set Radio Future on the Dreamcast. I don't know if anyone's ever played
Mhm.
that. It was like a graffiti game set in futuristic Tokyo, and it was the most incredible game with an incredible soundtrack. And then after that, I got straight into Warcraft, and I played a lot of games on the side. Most games I've played on the side, but I always go back to Warcraft. World of
Right. Yeah.
Warcraft. I know it's in a bit of a doldrum at the minute, but I still love it. I can't. It has me. It has me, and it's all to do with lore and world building, and it's the same. Anything that has that depth of lore and characters, it gets me.
Yep. Absolutely.
Hey,
Um,
Christian,
Uh-huh.
what was the first console and game that you bought? Like, what was the thing that like you played a game, like played the first game that you were like, okay, this is for me, because like
The first
that's
game
like
I ever had was a battery operated LED standalone of Galaxian, um, and then the second one was probably my mom always wanted me to be so you have to get a bit of education with this, so she wouldn't let me get an Atari console. So she got me like I think it was an Atari XL or something. That was like the computer version,
yeah.
and it had like a cartridge slot in it as well, but it had a keyboard. Um, and she's like, "You got to learn how
Wow.
to program." But the only thing I ever learned to program was like I could like say hello, print it, and sort of make it go up and down the screen in BASIC. That's as far as my programming skills ever went. Um, but I
more
started off with
programming
it.
skills than I
But I started off with
Yeah.
Atari, and I stayed with Atari for years until I really couldn't stay with them anymore.
Right. Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I had an Atari when I was a kid as well, but Nintendo really changed the whole game with Super Mario Brothers, and it was it changed forever from there. For
Is
me, it
that was
was.
your game? That was your game, Alf? Was like Nintendo
Oh
and
yeah.
Mario.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was more of a Sonic. I was
But
into
what?
Sonic. I
Oh
liked
yeah,
it. I
Sonic
think
is
the
great.
song that really got me.
My favorite of all time though is Final Fantasy. I love all those games.
I've never played Final
Um,
Fantasy. I'm really tempted to play the MMO version. Is it 14? I'm not sure which one it is, but
right.
I'm really tempted to play the MMO. I've heard a lot of people talking about it of late. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
Um, so what if we open it up to the cult? Does anyone want to ask Kristian a question? We've got a
Please
request
do.
from Connor. What's up, Connor?
He's connecting.
Okay. Yeah. If
One
anyone.
question. One question from the cult. Someone asked to ask Kristian, how do you define magic?
Oh, interesting.
Oh wow.
I know, getting philosophical. Yeah, I know.
Um. Wow. Well, in this world, I think it's probably things we can't explain yet. Maybe sort of tied in a bit with supernatural as well. Um, things that would have been magic 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, we might have explained now with technology. And I mean, it's like how Marvel explains it. Like the Asgardian magic is like it's almost like a type of technology there. See, I really am a geek. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a crossover. I love the idea of combining magic and technology. Um,
Yeah.
but to me, it's something you can't quantify, you can't explain. Um, bringing down unseen energies, um, influencing other people without a hammer.
Yep.
You don't need a
Yeah.
hammer to
No.
influence. You know.
No. Exactly. Yeah. there's a really interesting connection between magic and technology, and some technology is so advanced that it seems magical.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Poplovsky, I saw you up here and then we lost you. I hope I didn't kick you off. Are there any other questions, Dota, that you're seeing in the Discord, or anyone else in the audience wants to ask
Hilk the
anything?
Dolphin wanted to know your favorite movie. Pretty much everybody is just asking about your lore, really. Everyone's like, is he
Oh,
going to write
really?
lore? Is he going to write lore?
Okay.
And I'm like, yes, he wrote it. So, you know, we can save that for when you're ready.
It's very short. But anyway, my favorite movie is really boring. Sometimes people get it, and sometimes people don't get it. I really love Lost in Translation.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Fantastic flick.
It's one of those movies. It reminds me so much of life on the road, and sort of being in strange, like, places that are so alien to you, and being disconnected from your own time zone. The weird things that happen in hotels. It speaks to me that way, and it's just great performances from everybody in the movie, and it definitely spoke to me in a way.
For sure.
And you also like certain animations, right? Like when we talked last time, you were saying that there's that you like watching like Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
Someone was also asking
Castlevania.
about their favorite like animations.
I love the
too.
Dota one. I love the Dragon's Blood Dota one of late. I like the Dragon Prince. These are the recent ones that I like. I mean, from back in the day, I loved Battle of the Planets. That was one of my favorite ones. G-Force. That was probably my favorite one. And the He-Man and even the She-Ra one. I mean,
Yeah.
He-Man was amazing. The new She-Ra,
Yes.
I'm not really sure what I feel about that. And even the new He-Man, obviously Kevin did a great job of fan service there, but I just felt it missed a bit of the old He-Man magic. Although it's the closest the new one has been to recapturing the old He-Man, but it's just still missed something. I mean, I think it probably missed He-Man because he was dead for half of it. Spoilers. But that was a bit weird. But yeah, I can watch cartoons all day, all night. It's great escapism. Thundercats. We made the new version of Thundercats.
No, I love Thundercats. To this day, you haven't done any voices for any animation yet, have you?
I've done a few voices for Warcraft, but I have
okay,
not.
Awesome.
I have not.
Cool.
No.
Okay, we hope to change that.
Yeah, you're taking my
right.
voice virginity in that respect. So sorry.
Dr. Poplovsky.
Yeah, Kristian, I want to know who's your favorite wizard of all time?
Gandalf.
Yes.
I don't have to think about that. I do love Radagast, and that's kind of what my wizard made me think of a little. I sort of maybe had him in my mind when I chose my wizard, but I loved Radagast. I love how he was portrayed in the movie as being such a gentle soul, but when shit got down, he is not to be messed with. You could see. I love rabbits, which is a weird thing to say, not in any sort of deviant way, but I do like rabbits.
Rabbits are great. Zayla
I have
Soul,
3
what's up,
rabbit
man?
tattoos, by the way.
How's it going?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Hi.
I had a question for Kristian. Would you say that, like, in the past, like, when character building on some of these MMOs, and even just real life, do you akin more to being a wizard or a warrior?
Oh my god, I'm definitely a magic user. I am not. I don't like getting down and dirty. I like to stand back and throw lightning bolts at people.
Nice.
That would definitely be me.
And sick your magic rabbits on them.
Yeah, and also I tend to play characters that don't look anything like me. I'll play like a blood elf, or I'll play like a goblin, or people are like, "Oh, I bet you he plays like an orc tank." I mean, I bet you don't. I bet you don't. Yeah, I just like to do things that are definitely magic based.
Well, okay, yeah. So, Kristian, we've got about 15 minutes left. So yeah, everybody. Kristian was kind enough to write some lore for his wizard. I just think it's awesome. And
It's not
so
very
I
long,
think
guys.
he's
Don't get too excited.
that's okay. Whatever
That's
you've
fine because
got.
we typically at the end of every single Wizard Wednesday we have a couple people come up, so you can kick off, and I think we have some other people lined up that can follow up after.
Okay, now you have to
Yeah.
be kind. This is my first time, so if it's bad,
Okay.
don't tell me, or else I'll probably run
There's
the
no
corner
bad
and
blood.
cry.
We'll be
Yeah,
gentle.
there is.
We'll be gentle.
All right, I don't believe you for a minute. But anyway, okay, are you ready?
We're ready.
So ready.
All right, okay, right. The lore of conjurer Ulysses, I can't even say it, Ulysses of the Brambles and his rabbit Signal. I called the rabbit Signal, by the way. The wizard
Love
we
it.
speak of is not easily found. You must venture deeper and farther off the well-trodden everyday path to find him, and then only if he wants to be found. Ulysses is a kindly man. He loves all animals and plants, but none more than his friend and familiar Signal, a suspiciously large brown rabbit. Signal is his warning, his lookout, and occasionally his partner in magical deeds. Rumor has it that Ulysses was not always a brown wizard, and this can be seen on occasion. Through failure and frustration with magic, his efforts tend to ignite what he's trying to mend. And however, as mentioned, he's a kind man, and it's very unlikely that he would unleash an inferno on you. Um, in fact, most of his days to date are spent undoing the damage caused by others to his beloved nature, and if you're lucky, he might even heal you. Sometimes a little suspicious and people wary, it's best to state your intention and put your best foot forward as soon as possible should you meet him. There you go.
I love it. I can definitely see the Radagast influence.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Thanks.
But I want to know what does he do with the apple that he's holding? Is that just a snack for later?
It's jewelry. It's actually an earring. I think I was going to write that in. Actually, I think he might have a magical tree in the back, which could possibly be the
Okay.
source of his power.
Excellent.
I mean, that could be like his mana. He needs to keep himself stocked up on apples.
Yeah, there you go. And then what's the significance of the name Signal for the rabbit?
Well, rabbits are inherently danger warners, or they're where they sort of hammer the ground and let people know that that's their warren buddies know. So he can sense danger from miles around, and so he's his signal. He's very perceptive of magical threats, everything, and maybe damage to the environment. He can sort of alert Ulysses to all that.
Got it.
So that's why it's called
Excellent.
Signal. It's a practical name.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, how amazing would it be if you could actually voice this character in the show? I mean, that's so much fun.
I mean, no, my luck.
And he's got a beard.
Give me the rabbits.
Yeah.
If they Signal, I can make a very good
it.
carrot chomping noise.
Yeah. You want to do the voice of the wizard and the rabbit?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think
the rabbit.
So diverse.
The rabbit talks.
Yeah.
I bet the rabbit talks. I think we need you to be talking animals.
Well, actually, when I said suspiciously large rabbits, I think that's kind of a loaded statement for the future. Why is he so big? I mean, he's really big. He's a very large rabbit. I think when he hits the ground, anyone can hear it. It's like thunder.
Oh,
So
nice.
He might not actually be a rabbit. He might actually be like a rhino dressed as a rabbit.
Furry rhino.
I love it. Just feed him enough apples, and I think he'll get there.
Yeah,
it's so great. Is there any other questions from people?
No, the chats was mostly asking for the lore, and we got it. We love it. Thank you.
And also, the other thing the chat is doing is like every time you answer a question, they're like, "That's the perfect answer." And
yeah, we love you. Yeah.
because
Maybe
we're
too
watching,
kind.
we're in Discord watching the Secret Tower, so everybody's in there chatting away.
Oh,
So we're so happy to have you, Kristian, as part of what we're doing. This
I'm
is
very
like
happy to
just,
be here.
yeah, and we're gonna do. There's lots more to do together, and we absolutely love you.
Well,
Yeah,
likewise. Thank you very much.
I was reading earlier. I think it was Dr. Poplovsky in the chat earlier today. He was like, I think he said, I was kind of nervous about who this celebrity would be. I think he said like, actually, Dr. Poplovsky, do you want to say what you were saying earlier? Was it even you?
Yeah. It was me. I was so hyped because you sounded hyped when you were talking about who the narrator was without saying his name. So I was scared of setting myself for too much hype. But when you delivered on the name, I was so excited. Yeah, it was just perfect. Um, somebody that would like the wizard, still like a genuine person, good recognizable voice, played a character in a fantasy setting. You've got the Game of Thrones prequel starting again like soon, which will put it back on the map. Like it's just
Yeah,
ideal.
yeah. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
man.
and it's because it can be a tricky thing bringing a celebrity into a brand or whatever, because sometimes it's not a great fit, sometimes it's just kind of awkward, but we all think like you're just perfect.
Yeah.
So
You're far too kind, but I
Thank you,
really
Kristian.
appreciate it, honestly. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, Tad. It looks like Tad has a question or comment.
Yeah.
What's up, Tad?
Hey, I actually wanted to just say, Christian, awesome to have you aboard. It's so interesting to hear perspectives of people that are coming to this from such different places and backgrounds. And as
Hmm.
a fellow bearded man and someone that at some point in my past I had turntables and did amateur DJing, and then stumbled into healthcare, and now I'm playing in Web3 and Wizardland. I appreciate someone that stumbles down a rabbit hole and looks for opportunities and see where you go. So I think just we're all so excited to to have this kind of collaboration with you and to bring you in. It's really exciting for all of us and very cool. And I just think it speaks to what this cult is all about. Just we've always strived to be a place that's inclusive and a place that allows space for everyone to come and join to bring whatever talents they have, whatever skills, whatever abilities. And it's just always been amazing to see how people have connected and how those things resonate, and just how we can all kind of lift one another and further everyone's goals and kind of take, we all get further if we all work together. So it's just really exciting time in the cult, and super good, super cool and interesting to meet you. Loved everything you said today. It was really interesting, and we look forward to
Oh, thank
everything
you,
we can
man.
do with you. Yeah, super cool.
That's nice to meet you too. Hopefully, you catch up sometime.
Yeah, come to New
Kristian,
York
when is
City
your next
NFT.
show? Kristian, when is your
Pardon?
next show? When is your next show?
Uh, my next show. Wow. You know, really, I haven't actually really started to DJ again since the pandemic. I'm working on tracks at the minute. I have a new track coming out on the 5th of what month is this?
It's April
That's
now.
April.
Okay, it's the 5th of May. What year is it? No, no,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, about 2022. Yeah, okay. I've another track coming out. It's a remix of Ferry Corsten and Morgan Page, who I think Morgan Page is quite big in the States. I've got a remix of one of their tracks coming out called Wounded. It's out on the 5th of May. Oh, it's really good. So that's the next thing, and then hopefully I'll start to DJ again after that. I'm not really going to be doing the Rave of Thrones
Cool.
thing probably anymore, because I'm trying to get away from. Obviously I'm not trying to get away from Game of Thrones because it's awesome, but I just kind of want to be more sort of stand on my own 2 feet. Obviously I'm doing a
Sure.
pirate show. Maybe I could do Wave of Thrones. That's terrible. That was a really bad.
Yeah.
That was a terrible joke. I take it back. I take it. That was a dad. That was a dad joke.
No, I haven't seen the our flag means death yet, but from the previews I've seen, it looks amazing. I love pirate movies and pirate shows.
Well,
Do you want to talk about
it's
that
just
one?
been. Yeah, we've just found out it's the most popular new show in the US at the minute, and it hasn't even hit the
Awesome.
rest of the world yet. Really, only where HBO is present, and we haven't even had it here. It's so weird publicizing something, and none of my friends have seen it because it's not really out
Right.
here unless you download it off the internet here. But yeah, it's just it's a super inclusive show. Everyone's represented in it, but it's not in your face. It's just
Hmm.
because life at sea was weird, and
Hmm.
you had all walks of life there. And it didn't matter what
Hmm.
color, sexuality, whatever you were, you're all just threw together on this boat. And I
Right.
think people really appreciate that sort of the honesty of it, and the just it's warm and it's funny, and it's I didn't know how it was going to be received, but the fandom has taken off far quicker than the Game of Thrones fandom kicked off. I'm really impressed. And people are loving it. It's really funny. If you like Taika Waititi's sort of dry Kiwi sort of humor, you're gonna like what we did in the
Uh-huh.
shadows, at the Hunt for the Wilder People, or Flight of the Concords. You're gonna love it. It's so offbeat.
Yeah, he's such a talent. He's got such a unique way into comedy. He's a genius.
I mean, the only way I
Uh,
would say you might be disappointed is if you're looking for a historically correct pirate show, and if you're looking for gritty, like swashbuckling, you're probably looking at the wrong show. So,
well, that's why I loved Game of Thrones, because it was so historically accurate. So, um,
uh,
no, I
yeah.
it, it looks great. Natrix, do you have a question or comment for Kristian?
Yes. Hi. First of
Hello.
all,
Hi
thank you
there.
for being here. And it's really nice to have you here. That was my
Thank you for
question
having
about
me.
how you define magic.
Oh,
And you
cool.
say you're a magic, yeah, and you say you're a magic user. So I'm curious if you want to talk about how you use magic in your life or how you see it working in your life.
Well, I am. I'm. This is a hard question for me to answer. Actually, I don't mean hard because I don't want to answer it. I just don't know
Yeah.
how to put it correctly. I am into. I'm not a religious person. I am a. I would say I'm a little bit spiritual in a weird sort of way. Um, I'm a very Celtic person. I definitely am descended from Druids. I know that there's been too much in my life that's pointed me in that direction. Um, too
Awesome.
many coincidences, and even the house I bought is unknowingly right next door to a massive Druid graveyard, which I didn't even know when I bought the house. Um, anyway, I just if you come to a place like Ireland, and lots of places like Mount Shasta in America, all there's places where you can feel natural energy, and it's tapping into that for me. It's all about
Yep.
positivity, and it's using whether magic is real or not. If you can convince yourself into a mindset, if you can achieve what you want to achieve. It doesn't matter whether it's magic or not. If I cast a spell and it just triggers an intention in my head that comes true because of positive thoughts, does it matter whether it's real magic or not? Magic can be defined in that way as well. I think. I mean,
Yep.
it doesn't matter to me whether it's real or not. If I want to cast a spell and it puts me on a certain path, that's all. That's all it is for me, really. Um, I would love lightning bolts to fly out of my fingers, especially when I'm in the queue for McDonald's drive-through and stuff like that. I mean, I would love magic to be in that sort of more literal way, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And
Yeah.
I sort of giving myself a hernia trying to make it work, but
Yeah.
it's. But that's how I sort of think. It's the mobilization of intention. There, that's a good way to put it. Mobilization of intention and bringing it into the real world.
Yep. Yep. You know what? Actually, I think Aleister Crowley, the famous wizard, actually defined that magic in that way: the mobilization of your intention, something
No
like that.
way.
It's a paraphrase. I think so. I think so. I think you may have just channeled Aleister Crowley, but then again, you are a
That
druid,
might be
so
the
I'm
first
not
time.
surprised.
Rediscovered. Well, I think
Um,
that was a perfect way to close this out.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. We've just hit time, but Kristian, that was an excellent answer. Excellent question, Natrix. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Pure
thank you
magic.
so much. It's been great. It's been fun.
yeah. Likewise, guys. It's been nice to meet you all.
It's so nice to meet you, and I look forward to other things we might work on in the future. I'm gonna bring us out with the progressive trance beats of Kristian Nairn. This has been Elf,
And
Dota,
Dota?
the the
Tad
Druid
Major.
Christian, Tad Major, Bear Snake, Dr. Poplovsky,
Lockness.
Loch Ness, Natrix, channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GM, everybody.